Hey everybody, welcome to Know the Pro with Sabu Satsha by Marshall Music. Today I have another very special guest, a friend of mine, someone I've worked with for years and years now. You guys know him better as Supernal Sounds. Some of you know him as Unyambose. I'm talking about none other than Bheka Mthethwa.
Yeah.
Welcome, PK.
Vana, thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure, man. It's a pleasure having you here.
Yeah.
I feel honored myself.
Oh man, it's actually my honor. You've been calling me, to come here. And, finally, we've made it. We're here.
Thank you for being here. Just short background about Bheka Mthethwa, who you are, where you come from, what you play, which is obvious to a lot of people, but maybe the 10% that doesn't know.
Yeah. In a nutshell, Bheka Mthethwa is a proudly African bass guitarist, gospel jazz award-winning artist.
Right.
Yeah, producer, music director, entrepreneur slash. Yeah. But it just didn't start there, obviously. I was born and bred in KZN in the village called Mthethwa. In the area called Ecini. I know you always wish to go there.
Yeah.
I'll take you there very soon. Yeah. So I was born in a balanced family with mom and dad present. I think this music thing was inherited from my dad because I hear he used to play organs.
You've never seen him?
I have just a vivid memory, but he stopped playing when I was still a little boy.
Okay.
I couldn't even learn a thing from him, but I guess this music thing comes from there. And that's me in a nutshell.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I've been getting a lot of questions. People will say to me, "Hey man, you and Bheka, just such a tight knit." That's a story maybe for later on.
Yeah.
But a lot of people keep asking me, "Hey, Bheka, did Bheka study music? Did Bheka study music?" And I'm kind of tired answering the question that Bheka actually didn't study music. I think if you want to take them through what you did actually professionally, what you did study actually is something way different than music.
Totally different. Yeah. Obviously, after my matric, I wanted to pursue music as a career.
Right.
But it was not, the idea was not so welcome at home. They asked me many questions as if, how are you going to make a living? What are you going to eat? Because music, you can imagine in the village, it's not perceived as a prominent career.
Right.
They want to know, they want to see me as a typical doctor or IT technician. So I had to think of something that I could mingle with music in the long run. And you can imagine from the village, I didn't even know, there was no career guidance center around. So I didn't even know what IT was, but I chose to go for IT.
Right.
Because I had computers, and I thought, okay, studios, one day, and then I thought, okay, I think I can do this IT thing. And when I got there, man, a different world altogether.
Yeah. Having
to study those programming languages, algorithms, computer language, which is something that, was very foreign to me. But I mean, that's the career that I chose professionally. And I finished I went to a Technicon high school.
Right.
Sorry, not high school. Technicon, it's some
College.
sort of a varsity college,
Right.
which is DUT, and later on it was named Durban University of Technology.
Right.
Yeah, so I did my diploma there and added a BTech
Right.
on top of that. Yeah, and then I went to work. I only worked for 2 years. I got a job as a junior developer in one of the IT companies there.
And you left work.
Yeah. Then eventually I left work because really figured, okay, I'm not really passionate about this thing. I did it for
Right.
parents, to be honest, and I thought it was gonna, give me some good cash. But I mean, it's taking time. It's just like music. You gotta put in some work for you to become that successful. So even there, you gotta just put in some work and gain experience for you to earn proper money. So for me, it was a waste of time. There was no motivation for me to stay in that career. Then I thought, I'm quitting this thing. I'm going straight to my passion. And yeah, to answer you though, I know there's always this self-taught word that is being used, or phrase that is being used around. But I mean, I think everyone is self-taught, really.
Right. True.
Yeah, because even at school, they cannot teach you how to play. They can only teach you the instrument,
Right.
the technicalities behind the instrument. So I think I also naturally, I'm musical.
The gifting is there.
The gifting is there, and I just put in some work for me to achieve what I wanted to achieve musically as a bass player, as a pianist, because I started playing keys at church and stuff like that. Yeah, but fortunately for me, when I attended varsity, I was studying music.
Yes. We had him here. The first episode of this show was Sia.
Yeah, I saw it online. Yeah.
And by the way, Sia Mthethwa is not Bheka Mthethwa's brother. Just so you guys know out there. Yes, they grew up together. They possibly look alike. Now that I know them closely, they don't really look alike.
Yeah.
But for you guys out there, it's fine. They are not brothers, though. It is Bheka Mthethwa and Sia Mthethwa, but they are not brothers.
Yeah. We just share the same blood. Yeah. So Sia and Sianda Zulu,
Right.
we're studying music full time, Bona. Same varsity, but different campuses. But I mean, their campus was just down the road. So during my interval after an IT class, after attending the class, during my intervals, I would just walk down the road and find the guys jamming there. And I would find them practice rhythm and all those things. I would just join the club, man. No questions, no. I wouldn't even hide away from the lecturers, because they eventually knew me and actually featured me on one of the concerts.
Oh, wow.
I ended up playing for students during their lunch hour concerts, recitals.
Right.
And even those lecturers ended up booking me for their jazz gigs, as because I thought I brought something that was unique from what they normally had.
Right.
In the environment, in that music environment. So that's where I sort of got the technical aspects of the music. Then I fused it with my self-taught natural talent.
Right.
And then it actually opened my eyes and
Grew from there.
Yeah. So by the time I finished my degree, it was more like, okay, I have music here, I have IT here. The fortunate part, I didn't pay for music. I only paid for IT course.
Sure,
Yeah.
Kill two birds with one stone.
Yeah, man.
Speaking of unique, Bheka, I mean, you came into the industry, and man, as a drummer, let me say you rocked it.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, I had never heard any bass player in my years of playing, even before I started playing. I had never heard any bass player who will play like that, who will play a drum fill with a drummer. And I was like, okay, my word, what's going on here?
Yeah.
So I think maybe let's talk a bit about your bass playing. I don't want to really say what defines you as a bass player, but I think what I want to ask is, what makes you stand out? And what makes you sound the way you sound?
Okay, I think firstly it's the belief of being unique. I believe in uniqueness because it brings about, I believe in authenticity,
Right.
because it brings about uniqueness.
Right.
So I try to be as authentic as possible in my approach generally. I even remember the very first song I attempted playing on a bass. On the first day, I wanted to play it differently, even there and then.
Right.
It was City Wally City Bomb by Concord Kabili. I remember that bass line. So I wanted to I wanted to add all those things in there just so that I can sound unique. So I think that approach helped me in many ways than one, because I actually didn't even know that my bass approach was different. I only figured that out when I moved from the village, from my hood, Ekaya. Actually, I did 2 relocations.
Right.
I relocated from Ekini to Eskawini,
Right.
which was more suburban than the village environment. That's when I met Susia, and that's where I actually got a more direction in my music path, because Sia inspired me a lot.
Meeting other musicians.
Meeting other musicians, and also being a part of some bands, local bands, Ekasi Eskawini. Anyway, jumping into the relocation now to Durban,
right,
when I eventually now was going to study at varsity. Mangfika Kona, just a normal church praise song, a normal church chorus. Man, I would play it differently without even noticing. And the guys would say, "Hey man, why are you so different? Where do you get these things?" I had no idea. I was unique.
Right.
To me, it was just what I was feeling naturally, because I apply my creativity. I just don't get comfortable with, this is a chord tone, this is a progression of the song.
And that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
I trouble my mind to, what flavor can I add to this? So,
right.
Yeah. Same thing, I'm sure we'll get to it later. Same thing, working with you. So man, I think that's basically it. I just believe in being authentic, and that brings about uniqueness in me, and it makes me outstand, so to say. Yeah.
While we're there, speaking about uniqueness and being authentic, let's talk Supernal. Supernal Sounds. You recorded your album in the year 2017.
15.
No, 15.
Ooh, yeah, 15.
Yeah. And to then released, of course, in the year
2017.
2017.
Yeah, 2 years later.
What inspired Supernal Sounds? For me, who was at the show, it was amazing. If you are not there, well, that's your problem. But anyway, it was just something else. I mean, I ran production for that show, but I remember 70% of the time I was disturbed.
Yeah.
Instead of doing what I was supposed to be doing, my eyes were just drawn to the stage, because it was just something else. I'd never seen anything like that, especially in our country, or should I even say in Africa, where something was presented so well. The level of production on stage was amazing. The songwriting was amazing.
Thank you, man.
How the music was directed, how the music was put together, just everything. And it was a huge band.
It was.
What inspired
Supernal
Sounds?
Hey, I'll take it back. You see, as a little boy, if you see people on TV and you dream that one day you work with them, and eventually you work with all of them, and then you feel like, okay, you've reached the ceiling, where to go now?
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
So I thought it was the first inspiration of, the next best thing I can do is doing my own thing, which was Supernal Sounds. Even this word Supernal, my English is not so good. It's not that good. But I searched for this word. For rather a brand name that I can, that I can use for my thing. And accidentally I see this word Supernal. Then Supernal means something heavenly, something of exceptional quality or extent, something that relates to the sky. And I thought, this word, sounds like me. Sounds like my type of music. Sounds like what I want to present to the world. Then I chose this word. But I mean, the ultimate inspiration was the realization that when I got into the industry, I became so influential, not only to church musicians,
Yes.
not only to bass players, but to pianists, drummers. I remember Snigiwe told me one day, say, not when we heard you from Joyous 15, we said, "Aye, man, we are opening this thing up," because there was this, you must hold the groove, you must
be disciplined.
Hey, less is more, which is good.
Which is good. But
Which is good, but you must, as a bass player, you must complement some harmony, here and there.
Right.
So the less is more limits you to playing only root notes, because you're trying to play less, and it doesn't challenge you to expand your mind into understanding the other realities of the music, the harmonic foundation, the rhythmic interpretations
Right.
of the music, and then having yourself, expressing yourself even more, So I thought, okay, less is good, There are times to play less, of course, but when it's time to open it up, just open it up,
play.
Yeah, just play. So realizing that, okay, I'm so influential. These guys, when I go to, when we booked and going to some church events or some
Right.
festivals, you will hear, okay, that boy wants to sound like me. So it means that I've done some work in his life. So, okay, how can I then continue to channel these guys? Because of course they are drawing some inspiration from me. I thought, okay, let me just do something of my own, something that is out of the norm, something that subverts the bass player being in the background.
Right,
Let me take the center stage. To take it further, let me sing while playing.
Right.
So that I can continue to channel, continue to inspire these guys, and then we can grow all together from that point. I know I talk too much today.
No.
I know everyone's surprised that you can talk this much.
No, but I can talk. You guys have no idea. You can talk.
Yeah.
Now that you're speaking about wanting to inspire,
Yeah.
I find myself in a catch-22 situation where I've played with you and then I have to go back and play with my bass player in church or another bass player for another gig. And for some odd reason, they're trying so much to sound like Bheka Mthethwa. And it's just not going right. And I'm like, my guy, please, just play the groove. I think it's important for people to understand the things you do and where you're coming from doing those things. Maybe tell the people at home, the young bass players growing up, that it's important to understand so and so, such and such and such and such before you. Because, man, you can play lines, Bheka, you can play lines for days. And there's never been a time where I feel like, that line was not supposed to be there. It's always like, please do it again. And then you don't. It
sounds so right.
Yeah, it's in the right place.
Yeah.
It's in sync with what we are doing.
Yeah.
It's at the right place. It's sitting on top of the right harmony. It's, so I think from a place of understanding, what do you say to those people trying to be you or trying to broaden their skill?
Yeah. All I can say is they should just check the basics, because if they take care of the basics, basics will take care of them in the long run. But what are the basics I'm talking about? Understanding the basic roles of the instrument, the bass. We know the most dominant or the most famous elements of the music is rhythm, harmony, and melody.
Right.
Yeah, and bass seems to be more dominant on the two.
Right.
So if they can just capture these two, rhythm and harmony.
Right.
If they can just understand those two, because if they understand rhythm, they can lock nicely with the drummer, while creating the space for all the other elements, all the other harmonic instruments or whatever in the music phenomenon. So I think if they can just learn more about those basics. Harmony, if they understand harmony, they can then be able to improvise with ease, improvise with the right notes, because usually I remember one of my first experiences playing with Babu Ngobeko. He, whenever I'm trying to play a chord, he would be uneasy because he's used to the bass players that don't understand harmony.
Yes.
If they play chords, they always play the tenths. The
Yes.
Yeah, they don't really understand dominant chords. Then what harmonic foundation is rather what are the qualities that make up a dominant chord? You see, so as a bass player, as bass players, they should actually challenge themselves to understand even that broader picture of the music,
right?
Those technical realities of the music. Understand chord qualities, understand chord tones, make sure that you understand chord progressions of the songs. Yeah, I know some of the bassists. They by what's this? By Pascal all the way.
As a drummer, yeah.
Yeah. So guys, those two basics: understand harmonic foundation, rhythmic elements of the music. You'll be done.
Well, you guys have been saying, please bring Bheka on. We're going to start charging you guys for this now. This is turned into a workshop, and Bheka is here today, so I'll try and ask him a bit more, just a bit more. I think we're running out of time, but I'll ask him just a bit more. Yeah. Let's talk about creating grooves. Bheka, you've recorded so many hit bass lines. I've lost count of how many albums we've recorded together. I possibly can't even start counting now. Yeah. But you've recorded so many hit bass lines that are anthems in our churches, in the circular field as well. What goes into creating a bass line, be it it's grooving or even if it's a slow song, and what is your mindset thinking about a bass line when music is being created as a recording bass player?
I always think like a producer. When you have a producer mindset, you think about what's happening in a song holistically.
Right.
Yeah. You think about that snare drum that you must give space to. You think about that lead vocal that you must create space to. You think about the harmonic foundation that is laid in this song that you must support with the low foundation, with the root notes as a bass player. So creating bass lines, I consider all those things. That's why if we create a song, you and I, if we put here, now we have to create, a groove for a song. We would work hard trying to find the right pattern that works for the song. Because, everyone can play.
Yeah.
We all can play, but what defines us, what sets us apart is how we can create.
Yeah.
The creation part is more critical. So I think I always think like a producer. I always consider what's happening around.
Yes.
Where is the drummer hearing this? Can I compliment the drummer? Can I suggest something? Where is the pianist hearing this? Can I compliment them? Can I suggest something? You see? And what is the melody? What's the dominant melody of the song? Can I compliment it? Can I suggest something to the lead singer? So all those things go through my mind, when I create a groove. So I hope I've answered you.
Sure, guys. We can talk and talk and talk.
I've got an idea for a question, because you talked about now the playing aspect, and that if people want to sound like him, what gear is he using? How does he create his own sound?
Right. Yeah. So, guys,
am I marketing someone now?
That's sorry. One of our cameramans, Devalde, he just asked a very important question, without marketing anyone.
Yeah.
Yes, people who want to sound like you, or let me just say, who want to sound good as well. They look at you and they see the kind of bass that you're playing. They wonder what strings you're playing. Let me maybe ask the question like this.
Yep.
what is it that you're playing now? What is it that you probably wish you want to play in terms of a brand?
Yeah.
Or what is it that you've played and you thought, that sounded amazing? Or what makes you sound the way you do on maybe any bass that you've had? Because I've heard you sound amazing on different types of basses. So I don't necessarily think it's a brand thing, but I think every brand has some certain level of excellency.
True.
So maybe I think let's talk about what is it that makes you sound the way you sound in terms of gear.
Right. Firstly, I must say that I started being aware of the gear when I met you. The technicalities of the gear, being specific about the electronics, for me, I would just try to make every bass that I hold sound good. Because I believe in working on a natural tone.
Yes.
When I practice at home, I don't use amp at all, because I want to develop the punch. I want to develop the precision. Because if you don't use the amp, you make sure that you wanna hear yourself, on that bass acoustically. And then the minute you plug it into an amp, it's just,
sounds big.
It sounds really big.
Yeah.
So I think I mastered that first, creating a tone naturally.
Right.
And then later on, when I got clued up or inclined about gear and things that can enhance my tone, then I got to use Mach bass.
Right.
Yeah, I have the Big Bang head, and I have the little tube 800.
Right.
The little Mach tube 800, and then of course
the cabs.
The caps, but even those, I don't. What I love about them, they stay true to your tone, to the true note. They stay true to the tone of the bass. They don't, you don't hear something that is foreign, something that you are not familiar with. So even those, I hardly use the post EQ,
right,
so that I close the engineers to not to influence my tone.
I've seen you do that.
Yeah. Because I just love the valves, how they respond to the sound of my bass. Okay, and lately I'm sure everyone has seen me using that Yamaha 6P2.
Yes.
That thing, sounds like me. I've tried many other basses. I don't want to name the brands. Yeah. I've tried many other basses, of even American brands. They sound good because they high-end instruments, and you can hear that slap. If you want to slap, you can hear that finger semi-fretless kind of tone. If you are for that sound. But I prefer this Yamaha because it just responds perfectly to, it does anything I want to. It responds to anything I want to do at that specific time. So if I were to be specific, currently what I'm using that 6P2.
Yamaha 6P2,
yeah. But I'm working on my own custom bass.
Right.
Yeah, with the type of electronics that I want.
Right.
The type of pickups, the type of wood that I want.
Okay.
Then you guys will know about it very soon. So that Yamaha that I'm using mostly, and then I use Alexa strings. Yeah, the coated ones.
Right.
And then what else?
Well, I think we've said quite a bit, and we've run out of time. Just before I let Bheka go, I'm gonna let him maybe say his last piece and give us his social media handles. Also, Bheka, you had posted about your Facebook page that has been hijacked.
Yes.
So, yes, that page is Bheka Supernal Sounds.
It's Bheka Mthethwa
Supernal Sounds. Yeah. Yes, Bheka has posted about that page. That page has been hijacked from him. You guys at home, please do us a favor. Please do report it with Facebook. You can grab a screen munch of the page and do report it with Facebook. We have all reported. So if you guys want to see him back on that page, please do report it with Facebook.
Thank you.
Yeah. What do you want to say to the people at home? your goodbyes.
Okay, guys, I just want to start by appreciating you. Thanks for supporting me. Thanks for praying for me. Thanks for making sure that when you see me, you say the words of, assurance, making sure that I continue doing what I do and I do it the best way I can. And what I want to say to you furthermore, is that, guys, I read from somewhere, they say if you want to prosper, or they say prosperity is built upon progress, and progress is measured from the point at which we started. That basically means if you want to prosper, you must start something. Because if you don't start it, you won't see any progress in your life. And follow me. Sabu has just touched a bit about my Facebook page that has been hacked. It's Bheka Mthethwa -Supernal Sounds. Report it until I regain it. Otherwise, follow me on Instagram @Bheka Mthethwa. Follow me on Twitter @Bheka Mthethwa.
Well, you heard it from the man himself. That was Know the Pro with Sabu Satsha. Today, I was chilling with Bheka Mthethwa. What an honor for me. Until I see you guys again, possibly next week or the week after that. Sometimes I go quiet, but it's okay. It's one of those things, guys,
Part of life.
And when Bheka is done with that custom bass, maybe we'll have it here at Marshall Music. Maybe.
Not a maybe.
We'll speak to him.
Definitely.
Peace out.
Thank you, guys.